Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 550.
550.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. We are thinking all about Halloween and Christmas right now. Especially the cooler weather, right? But Halloween starts next month.
I know, less than 3 weeks from today.
So there is a offer for Walt Disney World up to 20% off select Walt Disney World resorts this holiday season on select dates. Head to MEI Mouse Fan Travel for more information on that and to book with your no obligation quote.
Sounds like a great plan to me.
And we're going to talk about Disneyland Paris just for a minute. A Million Splashes of Color was announced yesterday to return in February 2026 to Disneyland Park. Sometime around that time or later, we don't know when, World of Frozen will open at Walt Disney Studios Park, which will be Disney Adventure World. But I figured, and we've talked about it, that they'd need some sort of entertainment. We did enjoy, at Disneyland Park, sort of to balance out the two parks. We did talk about this before, and we didn't know what they might bring, but we figured they'd bring something.
It is a very good show. We only had a chance to see it for actually a few days.
Right.
But I enjoyed the show, and I'm looking forward to seeing it much longer.
And it would have been nice to have the Disney Music Festival come back, or 30th anniversary, right? Dream and Shine Brighter. But we enjoyed this, so it's nice to have the entertainment. So also, I am very excited about Adventure Way, and that is coming also. You've got World of Frozen, Adventure Way. There's so much coming next year. But bronze characters have made it to the future Gazebo Garden. There's going to be a number of themed gardens. And so you'll see statues of Pongo, Winnie the Pooh, and Peter Pan. And Peter Pan is in the concept art. So that's the one character we've seen in the concept art.
And I see Pongo now with a couple of the Dalmatians. It looks great.
And these are all the characters are inspired by British stories, of course. But I'm just really, here you see Imagineers,
Peter Pan up in the background, yes.
With the Peter Pan who is in the concept art. And, if it was just one garden, I'd be excited about, because I love gardens. I love the statues. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else will be coming. But yeah, the Imagineers look like they're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, it'll be an exciting time, and I can't wait to actually get the date. I'm sure that'll be coming soon. Maybe it'll be coming soon during D23. Who knows?
Wouldn't that be great?
It would be great, because I'd really like to make our plans for next year.
And Disney President Natasha Rafalski is here with Winnie the Pooh, as well as another Imagineer.
I didn't notice the Winnie the Pooh bench. Very nice.
So, yeah, you've got Winnie the Pooh, and then they're just really nice benches, but fortunately there's still room to sit on them. It's not like the characters are taking them all over.
And there's a lot going on also. There's going to be a new show, a fireworks show with drones and everything.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be amazing. So we're going to turn our attention, though, to Disney's Hollywood Studios for the return of the magic of Disney animation. Here is a look at the old sign outside the old animation building.
And by the return, the name is returning,
correct,
but it's actually going to be quite a bit different. So
before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a quick look back at the old attraction. This is, you would actually be able to watch animators working on a real studio and produce real films that were done here at Walt Disney Studios in Orlando.
And they also had concept art, and they had character meets. I think Baymax and Hero were the last characters to meet in there.
Yeah, I enjoyed those. We had some good times, and here's a look at the former exterior before it was changed to Launch Bay.
And here they will have the Sorcerer's Hat, because it's going to be called the Walt Disney Studios out instead of Animation Courtyard. It's going to be Walt Disney Studios, kind of hearkening to Burbank.
So let's take a look at some concept art.
And you see characters outside. There's going to be inside also, there's going to be all kinds of things inside the Magic of Disney animation, including like a playground for kids. The first thing I thought of when they announced it was like the Play Pavilion, which they originally had announced for Epcot years ago. It never has materialized, at least not at this time. To the right, Disney Junior will have a new show that's going to be closed during construction, although the Little Mermaid show will be open.
So now we're going to take a look at some concept art looking down from above.
It looks so much nicer. I'm not a fan of Launch Bay. I'm really excited about this. And you can see, like, the signage will be, we're not going to have that Disney's Hollywood Studios, which used to be Disney
The arch,
MGM's,
right? The
right?
arch.
Which is fine. Like, I don't really know why they ever had the sign that far in, heralding the park, but I think this will be very nice.
Yeah, and it's a very nice reproduction. A lot of these things actually exist. You could see the Walt Disney Studios. There's a sign just like that at the real Burbank Walt Disney Studios. You see the signage over here and the grass, that famous area, Mickey Avenue, that we've posed with before.
Dopey Drive, right?
Dopey Drive with even with the fire hydrant, just like the one in Burbank. So it'll be very interesting.
And so also, this is inspired by Once Upon a Studio on Disney Plus. You got to get the synergy in. But this is one of the more exciting announcements for me that they've made in a while.
And here's the poster, the official poster. I think this is fantastic.
I'm just glad that they're going to do something with this area, and it will be fun to see next year, 2026. What comes about.
And we did take a quick look in there and try to remember what the launch bay. We haven't been in launch bay in a long time, and the characters are still meeting. So now is the time to get in your last meet and greets. I think Darth Vader might still be in there.
Chewbacca.
BB-8. We saw BB-8,
yes.
right?
So the different characters are still there.
So now let's head over to Epcot and talk about Test Track. We were finally able to ride Test Track 3.0. Here we are. This was during a cast preview.
But it's now open.
Now it's officially
opened
open,
on
right?
July 22nd, 2025, which is only a few days ago. This is the new, entrance lobby here. And I just to say, it's very much brighter than the last two versions.
Yeah, we have that open air with the windows coming in, with the sun coming in, which is very different than either of the previous versions of Test Track that we had before. The original Test Track had tons and tons of, crash test dummies, and there was one particular thing that would make a big loud bang, and it would always startle you. So you didn't like that part.
I didn't like that part, but I actually preferred the overall entrance experience from 1.0, but not 2.0.
And I just want to mention here, I love this because you're actually seeing real footage of the old Trans Center that was at the World of Motion, the exit of World of Motion as you left the attraction. So that was kind of a nice little retro nod to the original attraction in this location.
And there's 6 exhibits in the queue celebrating the vehicles and the people behind the vehicles. And you're looking, they're like futuristic cars. I find the queue extremely boring. I know some people will probably love it, but it really sort of dragged down the entire experience for me, even though I prefer the overall ride experience, better than the last 2.0, but not more than 1.0. Like, you know what I mean? So I just found there's not much to do in the queue. You just are kind of looking at cars. I have heard
they have added more cars, I understand what you're saying.
Right. So but something interactive. I think that would be nice.
Let's jump in one of those cars and go for a front row ride on the new Test Track 3.0.
And there are windows, and that's something when you're in the queue you can kind of look up.
Yeah, we just went by. In the past they were frosted, but this time they're clear windows, so it was kind of interesting to be able to, from the queue, look in and see the ride vehicles go by.
And when you start on Test Track, there's like a welcome riders, and you hear, 2 voices, and one of them is like the car, right? And so this part was not very exciting. I mean, you're looking at kind of like a projection.
It's similar. It's similar to the 2.0 with the whole Tron feel to it, just the very beginning here.
And we see how the car sees the world. That's what they say, through advanced cameras and sensors. And so what we're looking at here, this is a very cool effect.
It is.
You end up with like 29,000 points of light, which I thought was really...
It's amazing.
It's actually a really, really cool effect.
That's one thing I love about doing shows with you. You do such great research, and I learn. Like right now, I'm learning from this, so I like that.
And they also mentioned surprises, which reminds me of Surprise Test from 1.0,
yes.
which
Surprise
to me,
Test.
I think the Test Track 1.0 had one of the best pre-shows ever. I
very
actually
funny.
really enjoyed it.
The Belgian blocks.
I could watch it over and over and over again. So we are leading into, we're going to be seeing a home, and then you get to choose your vehicle. And
this is one of my favorite parts. And also, this is kind of reminds me a little bit of Radiator Springs Racers at Disney California Adventure, where sometimes you can get the Ramon side, and sometimes you get...
Luigi
Luigi,
side, right?
That's right.
So here you're like choosing your own vehicle to design it at home. And that's something that, maybe someday you'll be able to do is kind of, you're maybe choosing the body and all that.
There's that concept car. And this is my favorite part. It's a bit of a throwback to Test Track 1.0. If you see, there's the original like test design from Test Track 1.0.
And again, I think that was my favorite. But here's one of my favorite areas of the ride as well. It's more of a practical area with trees and
when you're actually riding right now is when you kind of get a little nod to World of Motion, because you hear "It's fun to be free," a little refrain of "It's fun to be free," the music from World of Motion.
Right, the car boy says it's always fun to be free as you go into this set, and then there's like a sunset, and it's just a nice ride. It reminds me sort of like Living with the Land before you get to the greenhouses with the practical sets.
And we're about to have the truck almost hit you there.
And that reminds me of Radiator Springs. That part reminds me also of Radiator Springs Racers when you're there and that the truck's coming at you.
It reminds me of Universal Spider-Man when the truck almost hit you at the end, and then Stan Lee's driving.
And it totally didn't remind me of that.
Oh, this is very cool. This is like very much old Epcot, this big, giant space area.
And so now we're going out on the track, which is, it goes up to 65 miles an hour. I don't think anything really has changed out here. You get some views.
It still feels very fast. It always has.
I had I was taking some clips with my my phone, and I eventually brought it down to the windshield. I think it's better to do it before the windshield just to be careful.
Yeah, it's really great. I love it.
It
truly is
fast.
a thrill. It
Yes.
is a thrill ride aspect here at Epcot.
And also, Test Track is back to being sponsored by General Motors, which is what it was to begin with, GM. In the middle part, 2.0, it was Chevrolet, but General Motors owns Chevrolet. So
yeah, it's
always
sort of been under the umbrella of GM.
Yes. So really kind of a fun attraction. Again, I thought the queue was kind of boring. I hope they'll add some kind of interactive elements because it can be really long. We waited almost an hour in the queue.
Did we?
The first
Was it that
time,
long?
maybe 45 minutes. It was the first time
We were with our
did
friends, so it seemed like it went a little quicker for
Right.
me.
Well, the weather had made it where a lot of the cast members couldn't
because
be on
there
it for
had
a
been
while.
a storm right before.
Right. The second
got
time
there.
we went through much quicker. So there's also a World of Motion sea serpent, like a little throwback as well.
And I want to mention, I do love this giant diorama here. Kind of reminds me of classic Epcot, of Horizons. They had something like this.
Right. It's like this huge mural.
Mural, that's
Yes.
a better word for it.
And so, very futuristic.
Classic Epcot. Even when you're going into Spaceship Earth, they still have the original mural there as you're walking inside. I like that. That's a throwback to classic Epcot for me.
And of course, as you're walking out, and I don't know if you show this.
Yeah, I'm going to show quickly.
You're going to be able to see some cars, and you can probably buy the cars if you would like. I don't know much about GM cars. And then also the gift shop was closed. So that's something we, next time we're at Epcot, we need to go to the gift shop.
Yeah, I heard the gift shop is now open, but they don't seem to have anything attraction related, which is unfortunate. So hopefully they'll get some things in, like a little car from this version. Because I think I have cars from the previous two versions. I know I used to collect the toys of them.
Right. And that doesn't mean they won't. So.
And there's an electric. Now that's something new we hadn't seen in the previous versions, having a display of an electric car.
Right. And so there's where the gift shop is, but it was behind, it was just behind a curtain.
You know what? It's great to have Test Track open again. Very much needed at Epcot. And again, I would say for me, I like Test Track 1.0 the best. I would say this is the second best for me, followed by the third one. But of course, the World of Motion would be the ultimate superior attraction. But it's completely different. You can't really compare it to Test Track.
And it's nice to have Test Track open again. Of course, we have Guardians of the Galaxy,
which is the best ride at Walt Disney World. My
favorite ride. But then Test Track, of course. So thrill seekers, will have another option again at Epcot.
So that is another show. We want to thank our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Head to their website, fill out that no obligation quote. There's that holiday offer, but we've also have Halloween coming. You've got Halloween here, Mickey's Not So Scary. We have Oogie Boogie Bash with, Halloween. Disneyland in California is probably our favorite Halloween. And then Disneyland Paris, and then here. They're all good, but
so much.
Disneyland in California just has so much to offer.
Definitely check out MEI and get a no
Yes.
obligation quote. There's just so much stuff going on this holiday season.
Yes, Halloween and the holidays.
So I want to mention before, you earlier had seen a picture, a ride picture of us on the test track car. They're now giving out 3 different backgrounds of that.
Oh.
So when you ride and you
I
get
didn't
your
see
photo,
that.
if you have a photo pass and you get your picture, then the one you just saw earlier will be one of 3.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so eventually we'll get back on it, and I look forward to that.
And so this week we are heading tomorrow. Actually, we're heading to back to Universal. We have not been to Universal. Hopefully, we'll be able to see Islands of Adventure and the original Studio Park. So we went to Epic Universe
So much.
like 5 times, so
4
many
or 5,
times at
yeah.
poor Universal, and we've renewed our passes. So we need to get back there and get reacclimated.
Reacquainted.
Yes. It'll be hot though, so we'll have to take it easy tomorrow.
Right, it's been very, very warm, and we have we want to get a little bit done before Halloween season hits, because once Halloween season,
less than 3 weeks.
We've got Mickey's Not So Scary, but then we're going to go straight to Oogie Boogie Bash as long as everything works out, and then we're looking at Paris as we're planning
Halloween,
for Paris as
yeah.
well. So
Probably end up doing Universal
And
too. There's Halloween is
Food and
massive.
Wine Festival also here will start.
Not to
and
mention D23. Yeah.
So a lot's
We better
coming
rest up and get a lot of our household work done, because it's
That's
going
what
to
I'm
be
trying
a
to do.
busy fall, and that's going to go right into the holiday season.
Right.
It's going to fly by like it does every year.
Well, I mean, we usually have a little time between Paris and the holiday season, almost
Like a
a
week.
month. No, almost a month, because you have, you get back on a day, and then it's not
That's
until
true.
that
That's
first
true.
week of December. So we don't really have as much to do for a lot of October.
We'll see about that.
We'll see.
So thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.